Hey, welcome back to Income Trading 101, where we analyze the markets using a handful of technical analysis indicators. And I try to walk you through them so that it makes sense to you and maybe it even makes sense to put on a trade. Hey, if you haven't already, do me a favor and just go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to grow my subscriber base, and it costs you nothing, but it really does do me a lot of good. So I appreciate it. And also, if you like this video, feel free to comment or go ahead and hit the thumbs up button as well. So let's get into this. JP Morgan is kind of the bank of all banks these days. They've had a phenomenal time, a phenomenal, run since the financial crisis. I would have argued that some of the other investment banks were more important prior to then, but clearly Jamie Dimon and company have just crushed it since. They also announced earnings a couple of weeks ago. So the good thing about that is that they've already announced. It was a surprise. It was a tad bit higher than expected, which is a positive thing. And so this analysis, there are no hidden ticking time bombs in this analysis. I'm a little leery of some of the tech companies right now that are announcing this week. By the way, today is July the 26th, Wednesday, and I'm doing this after market hours. So let's just go ahead and expand this out. I always want to know where the present price of the stock is relative to where it's been. As you can see, we're not at all-time highs, but and this is about as far back as TradingView is going to let me go. We're pretty high. We're still pretty up there. Looked like they had an all-time high back here, late October of 2021. Looks like there was a high point of $171. We're only about $14 off of that, just to put things into perspective. So let's go ahead and zoom back in, and that's slightly less than 10% away from the all-time high in JP Morgan stock. So I like to use about a year's worth of data for this. Let's go ahead and do our normal thing. We're going to start off with the moving averages. I like to look at 3 of them all together, and I don't get fancy. I just use the simple moving average. I'm going to use green for my short term. It's my buy signal, and the short term will be, I did not complete that the way. There we go. It's going to be my 10-day will be green. Make sure it stayed. Nope, it went back to blue. So we're going to go green there. And we need one more. It looks like I deleted one of them. Sorry about that. And like I said, I just use simple. I don't have to get super fancy in this. This is not sort of a holy grail level. This is more just giving me an idea of where prices are relative to where they've been. So I do a 10-day or 20 period. My 20 is sort of my sell signal with I do it in red, and then I like to look at a 60-day. I do this in yellow. 60 business days, it's roughly 3 months of data. So you've got a two-week signal, a month-long signal, and a 60-day or 3 months. So you can see on the daily chart right now, we are very much bullish, looking bullish in JP Morgan. That's pretty nice, and it's been bullish a while. I'm defining bullish as having all 3 of the indicators, all 3 moving averages in order, where the 10-day is higher than the 20 and higher than the 60. And when they tend to meet, I consider that consolidation or the possibility of even a retracement, like you would have seen back here, the cross back here on March the 7th, where you had the red overtake the green. That's the 20 went above the 10. And then prices did come on off and stay off. And then we saw a cross here on that earnings update with the gap move up. And then it's just sort of figured things out, and then boom, a bit higher. So let's play with time. So we'll start off with the 1 day. I like to look at the 1 week. So we're bullish in the 1 week. Let's check out the 1 month. 1 month, look at how overall bullish. So each one of these candles is a month of data. This has largely been bullish since 2013. Even goes back further than that. I mean, I actually love TradingView for having this much data. So earlier when I scrolled out, I was on the daily, and so there was only so many points that it could plot. But TradingView will let me go, look at this. This is all the way back to 1989. It's like, are you kidding me? All the way back. So you can see how well JP Morgan truly has done overall. We're going to zoom this back out to at least within some of your lifetimes. I know some of you are much younger than that. All right, let's go ahead and go super short. Let's look at a 4 hour. So on the 4 hour, which is more of a daily thing, intraday thing, we still see bullish. At the 1 hour, we see a little crossover. We had the 10 and the 20 period crossover. So a little consolidation there. Let's take this lower to like the 30 minute. 30 minute, we already saw at the end of the day, JP Morgan pulled a little bit higher. And for those of you that are uber short time frame, if you're in and out multiple times during the day, you're probably looking at 5 minute, 3 minute, or 1 minute data. Kudos to you. I don't trade that short term. I'm an options guy, so I typically am trading expiration. Like I've been trading some options in the expiration period this week. I have a couple trades expiring on Friday for weekly options. I also trade monthlies quite a bit. So the daily crossed with weekly and a monthly time frame can typically give me what I'm needing to see. So let's now go ahead and get rid of these. We're going to go over to MACD. We're not going to look at that across a bunch of time frames, but I do like using this as my momentum indicator. And as you've heard on some of the other videos, the MACD really is less valuable when you have longer trends. And this stock has been trending higher quite a bit. You can see there was a crossover down here of the MACD line and the signal line, and then they both moved above zero, which is about where I like to start looking at it. They did that on the gap move of the last earnings, and since then we've just sort of been in overbought period because we've been largely going higher. So MACD is of less relevance overall right now to this one. But I always like to look at it because sometimes you can learn some good stuff from the MACD. I do want to look at a little Fibonacci retracement because we have a pullback scenario happening right now before our eyes. So we're going to go from this high over here to the low of this move only. And we've already gotten to the 78.6% level. I honestly would expect a full retracement here, meaning we go back and retest that high. So I guess that means I'm bullish JP Morgan ultimately. This company tends to do well. They are beloved by our regulators, and a subtle thing that makes me also like JP Morgan a bit that people don't talk about enough is their investment in the crypto space as well. They are heavily invested in crypto, for those of you who didn't know that. Even though Jamie Dimon likes to kind of talk smack from time to time, when you look at where the dollars have been, they've made some significant investments in this area. So definitely worth being aware of JP Morgan. And just as a side note, as I make these sorts of as I do these sort of channels, I'm okay having some points fall outside of the channel. And I look at this period here, post the last earnings. These are extreme conditions, but when you exclude those, you could even pull this out over here. Look at that. That upward channel catches almost all of that entire period, right? And then if you were to extend it even further, you can see it broke out of that. It broke out of that range. Let's tighten this up a little bit. It really had a breakout point. You can see where price went above that range over here just a couple of weeks ago in July, which means that we are really bullish right now. I'm really bullish this stock. When it comes down to it, I most likely will try to capture a move. It'll definitely be in the options. I'm an options guy. When things are bullish like this, I love taking part of selling put spreads, buying call spreads. Sometimes I do some. I like to do butterflies, iron butterflies, or iron condors. The problem is you'll make money on the put side and lose it on the up end, on the call side. So you really have to be familiar with adjustments and how you're going to manage the trade to make some more money on this. It's funny, you could even do a larger channel straight across here. I won't, instead of a channel, I'll just do a trend line, and I'm just going to draw it. We can do it up top here. I actually don't like that. Let me delete this. One of the things about TradingView, they have a number of different things that work, and this horizontal line keeps me from having to have a steady hand. But and we can even change the color of that to green or yellow. We'll just do orange. So I mean, when price really did break out of this is basically the month of July. I mean, July has been gangbusters. This stock is up, what's that, like 14 bucks in the month of July so far, roughly 10%. It's pretty good for a very, very large bank. So overall looking bullish in JP Morgan, and don't foresee that changing anytime soon. Let me draw that there. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoy this analysis. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to this channel. Share it with friends who also are watching for a little technical analysis and trying to figure out some good trades to put on. And for those of you that are interested in the option trading side of things, you can reach me either at my email, which is eric@theweeklyoption.com, or head over to theweeklyoption.com to find out where you can hear my weekly podcast, or you can even search for the Weekly Option Podcast on YouTube, and I'll make sure there's a link in the description. So that's it. Hope you guys have a great day. We'll talk again soon. Bye-bye.